Okay, y'all, I hate to say it, but we are officially at that point in prep where I am losing my keys in the middle of the gym, in the middle of my workout, and have to rely on the good graces of my fellow man to return them to Lost and Found so that I'm not just stuck at the gym and I can actually get home. So, eek, here we go. Because when you're 15 and somebody tells you that they love you, you're going to believe them. And when you're 15, feels like there's nothing to figure out. From the mouth of the immortal Taylor Swift to your ears, I find those lyrics so completely and totally relatable as a 46, almost 47-year-old grown-ass man. Yeah, not so much. Not really into Taylor Swift. I think she's fine, I guess. What I've heard is like, whatever. So yeah, keys. I did find them, so we got that situation resolved at least. But they just fell. I clip them onto my bag, so I got this little clip thing here, right? So I just clip this onto my bag. Apparently it needs to go into a pocket or something. I don't know, because now I'm losing stuff all over the place. And thankfully somebody turned that into Lost and Found. Otherwise, I would still be at the gym, scouring around on my hands and knees looking for it. So that's where we're at. I'm Darren Starr. Thanks for joining me once again. This is the 15-week out update for my prep for the battle at the river in Chattanooga, Tennessee on June 8th. I think I said all those things right. What is beeping back there? My laptop is updating itself. So yeah, what's been going on this week? We're 15 weeks out. Honestly, this thing just came unclipped from my bag. I don't know how. I don't feel like I'm really that brain foggy. You know, I did make that macro drop last week that we talked about. We'll talk about the results from that. How's it been? Fine. My appetite is present. I'm ready to eat for sure, but it's not that bad. So we'll get into it here. Big changes in news. So weight's down. We'll see the numbers here shortly here, but it was a very big productive week. I had my first dietary boo-boo this week. It was actually last night. Do I share that now or do I save it? I'll save it. That's a teaser for later. See what it is. I did start Clen. That was on Saturday. 40 micrograms, easy peasy. So it's certainly having a contribution. Things were moving before that came in, and now they're really moving to the point where I give it a couple more days, I might start thinking about pulling back on some cardio. We'll get to that. And it was a super active weekend also. So my wife does this art show. She's an art teacher and an artist, and she has a professional show that she exhibits at every year. And so it is this coming weekend, and she's in the home stretch of manic art production mode to try and get pieces finished for it. So my job is, one thing is I have a project in the works for a while that is to build her a wall-mounted easel. That's almost done. It's a little late, but it'll be there for next year at least. But it's mounts on the wall. It's adjustable, so you can hold a couple of pieces up there. You can move the height up and down based on if she wants to sit, stand, etc. So also, one of the things that she does is she prints out photographs that she takes, and then we glue those down onto a frame, and then she does art on top of that, and oftentimes we'll do some resin on top of that too. So I have to build those frames, and so I built 5 of those this weekend. And it's kind of easy to like just assembly line churn them out, but I am in the garage wearing this thing, which is all covered in sawdust still, and it's just like on your feet the whole weekend. So I did take Saturday off from training, still got cardio in. It was in the garage for 6 hours or so, and then Sunday had a chest and arms workout, and then my hour of cardio, walking the dogs on top of that, and then still spent 5 or 6 hours in the garage working on stuff too. So lots of activity going on over the weekend. You can see one of these frames in clamps here. This is what it looks like. I did 5 of those. That's the smallest one. That's a 16 by 20. I did one that was 24 by 36, and then a few that were 20 by 30. So that's those are the big changes in news for the week. So let's get on and go over the numbers and see what's happening there. Okay, so here is it here? Yeah, here. Point, there we go. Here's the tracker. I'm just gonna stop, Darren, stop. Here's the tracker for the week, and you can see, the macro change was implemented there on Tuesday was the first day of that, the 20th. I missed a weigh-in. I took it. I just didn't get logged for some reason on Monday the 19th. Tuesday the 20th was the first day on those new macros, and it was a low carb day, so it was a big drop. Again, I don't remember what the numbers are. I can look them up. I'll just throw them up on screen because they're in the video edit from last week, and so I can just grab those and drag them over here on the timeline and just put them there. So you can see the new numbers. I'll put the old ones up just because. So for training and non-training days, it's a pretty big drop going from old training day macros to new non-training day macros. That sucked a little bit. We'll get into what specific foods are in a little bit too. And you can see, oh, it's trending down, then it's back up, oh, and then it's back down. And then Saturday, the 24th, it was back up. That was the first day of cleansing, and it's 3 pounds down the next day, and then another almost pound the following day. So again, if it follows that trend, then clearly I don't need to be dropping weight at that rate. You can already see the forecast here. If these averages hold true at week 14, I'll have dropped 2.9 pounds. That's what I've already dropped this week compared to last week. So that's beyond the rate of loss that I need to be at. Gym performance is still holding up though, so I'm pretty good with that. We'll get to that in the next section, but this all feels pretty good. There was one day there, this was the 23rd, you'll notice, one of these things is not like the other, where the first bout of cardio is only 15 minutes. And that was a leg day. That must have been Friday. Yeah, legs with Sam. And I got on the bike and it was just like, nope. Like first thing in the morning, it's like, these things are tired, and if I'm going to have any prayer of performing reasonably well on this leg day, I'm going to cut this session short. So I called an audible on that, cut that session short, had a great leg workout. You can see across the board, like everything was really good. I'm giving myself a 9.5 for chest and arms yesterday. That was a workout where I called some audibles. I went to a different gym. Just did 3 chest exercises and then 2 superset pairings for biceps and triceps, but got a pretty crazy pump. It felt really, really productive. The chest stuff was tracked. The arm stuff was untracked. I won't make a habit of that, but that was just an off the books kind of workout for the most part. Legs today was a 10. That was fantastic. So let's switch gears here and let's get into the qualitative stuff and talk about how we're feeling. So very generally, how I'm feeling, aside from losing my keys and feeling like an idiot, I feel great. So I have noticed actually, and this has been a trend for the last 2 weeks here, as food volume has come down, I'm actually less tired. I think there is something to say that digesting food is a hard thing for your body to do, and the food volume got up to the point where it's like during the growth season, did feel like the growth season a little bit. The growth season, the food intake got up there and it was like that became fatiguing, just like digesting all of that. And so now that there's less of that, like I'm doing a lot more of this cardio. Again, I repeat one more time, it's not super intense. I'm just kind of grinding away. Like this is 3.3 miles per hour on the treadmill at a 3% incline. It's not that much. But and the bike is just, I'm pedaling, getting my heart rate up, stand for a little bit, pedal a little faster. It's just not that difficult though. On the treadmill, like my heart rate gets up to around 108 or something like that. It's not that hard. It's enough for me to be huffing and puffing. If I ever see my heart rate around 130 or 140, it's probably because I'm in the ambulance on the way to the hospital for some reason. It just doesn't get up that high. But I'm actually less tired. I haven't taken a nap in like 5 days, 6 days, something like that, which during the growth season and then in the immediate aftermath of that was an everyday occurrence. Like I needed that just in order to feel like I was able to function. Now, not so much. So that's really nice. So sleep has continued to be great. Having some weird dreams. I don't remember them. I just remember waking up in like a panic a couple of nights. That was weird. So I'm kind of putting a marker down for that and just seeing if anything like that continues. Appetite is present. It's fine. I have the meal timing down pat to where I kind of know when the harder stretches of the day are. It's in the afternoon because my fourth meal, we'll get to that momentarily here, is just a protein shake. It's not very satisfying. It's tasty, but there's just not much there. It's a shake. So that's the point where I'm kind of like at the hungriest and when I kind of get the most snacky. So that's also when I set myself up doing more of my relaxation hobby type stuff. Like that's my time for music production. So if you've got a guitar in your hands, you can't snack. So these guys over here saving my butt a little bit there. So, and I've been doing a lot. I have maintained that resolution to do something music related every day this year. That was a New Year's resolution, and so far still good on that. Still good on that. So So fatigue is good. Training has been exceptional. Like really, like I'm continuing to hit progressive overload all the time, which is kind of shocking. Like today, I topped out at 3 plates per side on the hack squat, which is on the Cybex hack squat. It's a little heavier. 3 plates still isn't that impressive, but for me it is because I have an abdominal hernia, so I can't just go down all the way and then hold my breath and then come back up. Like there's got to be airflow in and out the whole time. I can't get that intra-abdominal pressure elevated, which means that on any compound leg lift, I've always got to keep that air moving, so my output is going to be sub-maximal. That's the reason I don't deadlift also. So for me, 3 plates per side on that is good because those are slow and controlled reps. I bottom out all the way, and then I come back up with a good steady push. So 3 plates per side is good. That's 270 pounds. I topped out at that last week. That felt like about all I had in me. Today, I did 280, and honestly, like towards the end of that, I was thinking like, I might push for an 11th rep on this. Like, I didn't, but I was thinking about it, which is pretty remarkable. It's a pretty good increase. This is also the 8th rotation through this workout split. So I've been progressing. I mean, I should throw up the logs on screen, just so you can see what the progression has been. If I think to do it, I'll take a picture of the logbook. I mean, I'll do it. You won't be able to read it, so I'm not sure how valuable that'll be. But everything here looks and feels great. I'm really happy with this. So on the appetite side of things, I did allude to the fact that there was a dietary slip up. And I told Sam about this morning, and she rolled her eyes and laughed at me. So last night, my wife, so I had to do some meal prep, and I always call my parents when I'm doing meal prep on Sunday nights. It's just a nice way to multitask. I catch up with the parents anyway. And so my wife's in there. She's getting her dinner ready as I'm kind of getting mine ready, but I still have to wait for my turkey to finish cooking. So she goes off and she's doing some art on the table. And but she left her stuff out, and one of the things that she's doing now, because she changes her foods all the time, you know, she doesn't have the same dinner every day or even 2 days in a row like I do, but she's doing like chips and guac, and then some chicken with that, and then she'll slice up some cucumbers and have some dressing with that. But the chips that she's using are these like Frito things that she got from Trader Joe's, and like that's right up my alley as far as the shit that I like. So I just looked at that bag and I'm like, I had one. And I'm telling you, like, Sam's like, that's not even enough. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got to do more than that. I'm like, it is enough because it was enough to get that taste, and it absolutely doesn't fucking count for anything, right? Like, what's one Frito? Is it 4 calories, 6 calories? Who gives a shit? Like, it absolutely doesn't matter. So it was a slip up, but it was quite deliberate, and it was just one Frito. So that's my first slip up on this prep. So hopefully that'll not be a slippery slope, and next week it'll be like, well, I had 2 Fritos, and then the following week it's like, well, I had 2 bags of Fritos. You know, it certainly can go that way. I still feel very, very strong, and like I feel well fed enough that I'm not too worried about it. So let's talk about what the plan is for the week ahead. Okay, so this coming week, as we approach 14 weeks out, what am I thinking here? So I alluded to this before. I'm watching the weight trends. So from Saturday 238.6, and then Sunday 235.6. It's a 3-pound drop. I'm like, well, that's going to rebound back up. No, it's going to drop another 8/10. So now I'm 234.8. I'm like, if I'm 234 or 233 and change tomorrow, that second cardio session is going away. I was thinking, like, do I increase carbs or do I pull cardio back to slow the rate of loss? Honestly, I would like to get the extra time back more than I would like the food. That is something, if you're doing your own prep or just kind of coaching yourself through whatever, just understand that manipulating your deficit, you can come from either one of those, and it doesn't really matter which one. So let your preference be the guide. Like, I would love to eat more, but I would love to not have to do an extra 30 minutes of cardio more than that. So like, that's time. I will still be a little bit hungry even with a carb increase, but that 30 minutes that I can get back from doing cardio, can't get that back any other way. So for me, that's the most valuable thing. So if I get a chance to pull back on that, the other option is I could keep doing everything, but just remove the clean. Like, okay, that was nice. Let's see what we can do without that. That is another possibility. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. I would love to get just the extra 30 minutes back for right now, though. So That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Otherwise, we did do one training adjustment today. So the leg day, now I've talked with a few of my clients about this as well, just because this is part of a larger discussion we won't get into here, but like the difficulty of a workout and how it looks on paper versus how hard it is. And the thing that I say is it doesn't matter. You know, you don't have to have some crazy convoluted complex workout programming in order for it to be an amazing workout. In fact, if you rely on that, it tells me that you're not focusing enough on your execution. So my workout today, if you look at it on paper, it's hack squat, 3 sets of 10, leg extension, 3 sets of 10, single leg press, 3 sets of 10, adductors, 3 sets of 15, calves, 3 sets of 15. It's pretty boring, but it gets the job done. And so just based on progressive overload trends and how things have been feeling, one of those the leg extension machine that we were using, which was a hammer strength plate loaded machine, I topped out on that, like to the point where it's like going heavier on that feels like it's just going to hurt my knee. So we switched out for the Life Extension selectorized leg extension machine. So keeping the same movement pattern, different machine though. So it kind of resets everything. You're not going to do the same weight on that you did on the other one. Just feels totally different. So that's a good way. If you feel like you're getting stuck on a particular exercise, but you don't necessarily want to blow up your entire training split and have to start everything over, just swap out an exercise. And so on my logbook, it still occupies the same spot, but I just wrote LF, meaning Life Fitness, colon, and then my numbers, indicating like, hey, I switched to this machine. Here's the logs for today. So there will probably be a little bit more of that coming up just because there are a couple other things that we've topped out on. Like I did max out on the Life Extension glute bridge machine last week, did 3 sets at the top weight. We could increase the rep range on that. We could, implement some drop sets, or there's a hammer strength plate loaded glute bridge machine on the other side of the room. We can just use that. So we'll probably go there. So that's what I'm watching for. Potential issues. So it is my birthday this coming Saturday. I will be the ripe old age of 74. Or 47, I'm not sure. I'm dyslexic, so that's what it says on the screen here. We'll go with 47 because that's more flattering. So I am going to go out for my birthday on Saturday. I'm going to let my wife take me out and treat me. So, but I'm going to do a macro-friendly meal, probably something like, I don't know for sure, but probably like Outback, steak and potato with veg, no sides. Probably be pretty close to the same macros of what I would hit at home, maybe even a little lower on fat just because I do like their sirloin, and the sirloin's a pretty lean cut. That last meal for me is a little fatty. I might see if I can get away with going with a slightly fattier option. We'll see, but point being, I'm going to do a macro match meal for that, but that's going to be my one meal so far that I'm thinking on prep that is going to be kind of off plan, off the script, but still sticking to a macro-based approach. So, because I mean, there's just no need for a cheat meal. You know, would I like to have one for my birthday? Sure. Would I like to be stage lean? Yes. Which one do I want more? The latter. I can celebrate my birthday after the show. Who gives a shit? Like, whatever. it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. So I would rather just stick with something that's a little bit more on plan. Still go out, still have a social event, which is cool, but just stay on plan otherwise. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, new section, Q&A. Okay, so as always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. This comes from Carol Ann Mobley. Hi, Carol Ann. Good to hear from you again. She asked, can you share what types of foods you're eating? Curious what you're adding in or removing. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, any questions that you have, drop them in the comments, and I will try to answer as many of those as I can here. So anything that you're curious about, let me know. So here is what I've got, and I have pictures of everything here. I don't know why I have to like, what pictures do I have here? Like, I know what I'm eating, right? So here, I'm gonna look straight to the camera, and I'm gonna tell you while the pictures pop up over here. Meal one is 300 grams of Oikos 000 Pro Greek yogurt with 1 scoop of collagen powder, which provides an additional 10 grams of protein. I also mix in a little bit of strawberry watermelon flavor enhancer squirty stuff in there just because it's the vanilla yogurt. It's like, it's okay, but a little flavor is a little bit better. That's the protein for the meal. The carb for the meal is 100 grams of rolled oats plus cinnamon, plus some wild blueberries, about 50 grams worth, plus a little bit of sugar-free syrup. On training days, that 100-gram serving drops down to 60 grams. There's one difference. So Greek yogurt and oats, meal 1. Meal 2, this is going to be post-training, is a Fairlife protein shake and 100 grams of Frosted Flakes. So not really going with something super micronutrient happy here. Towards the end of prep, carbs will come down a little bit more probably. But this will need to be something that's a little bit more prioritized towards micronutrient needs. Right now, it's just a carb with some sugar, which is fine post-workout. And then on training days, that 100-gram portion gets cut down to 50. So there's another thing that gets dropped. And I think that's pretty much all of the carb cycle changes. Like, it's just the carbs in those 2 meals that get adjusted. The remaining 3 meals are the same for all days. So, and the change that I made there was prior to that, I was doing 12 Oreos for my post-workout carb. Here's the thing: if I get a little sugar, I don't feel like I'm dieting. I don't feel like I'm in prep. That's something that I can look forward to every day. It still hits the macros. Again, the micros get compromised a little bit, and at some point that's going to have to give. But for right now, I like a little bit of normalcy. Keep in mind, I'm 15 weeks out. This is the first time I've ever started a prep further out than 16 weeks, and I'm already 7 weeks in. So I have to kind of manage that mental dietary fatigue as well, and that's how I do it. Meal 3 is honestly, like, one of my favorite meals of the day. This is my deli turkey sandwich. So I have Dave's Killer Bread, mustard, 6.5 ounces of sliced deli turkey, dill pickle slices, sliced red onion, and a little bit of romaine lettuce all patted together there. So that thing is awesome. Prior to the carb reduction, I did have some pita crackers thrown in there. Those are gone now completely for all days. Meal 4 is just a protein shake. It's 2 scoops of Animal Whey with some ice and cinnamon, all blended together in my little blender bottle. That's it. So super boring there. And then the last meal is pretty complex. There's a lot to it. So this bowl, I make this meal in a mixing bowl. In the off season, there's a lot more rice and carbs, and this bowl looks pretty full. But this mixing bowl, because clearly I'm a farm animal and I just need to eat out of mixing bowls. This has a good size handful of raw spinach, 9 or 10 ounces of 93.7 ground turkey. I say 9 or 10, it's actually 8 or 9, but I prep 4 pounds at a time, and I also take a 1 pound container of carrot, onion, and celery mix and mix that in there. So that contributes about an extra ounce. So I bump that up. So it's 9 or 10 ounces of ground turkey with the veggie mix, 150 grams of rice, 65 grams of black beans, half of a medium-sized avocado, and a piece of toast. So with a little bit of that spray butter on it. That's meal 5. So that's it in a nutshell. So I'm excited for next week. Everything still feels great. I still don't really feel like I'm in the depths of prep. I am seeing some things change. I forgot to mention, the video earlier, which I'm not seeing change in there, but like day to day, if I'm looking at how things look in the gym, the one thing to keep in mind is always like try and compare yourself day to day or week to week when you've got a pump, because that's going to make whatever changes are happening more evident. So comparing yourself intra workout or towards the end of your workout is a good way to start to see some changes before they manifest in photos. I am seeing things there, so I'm encouraged by that. So that's all I got. So thank you for watching. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check me out, 5starphysique.com, for all of your coaching and or workout program needs. Check out the Drop Set podcast wherever you listen to podcasts as well. I just published episode 245, I believe, last week, with 246 coming this week. So stay tuned for that, and peace out, y'all. Thanks again for watching.